Hiya Fragrance fam! We have no shortage of holiday cheer here at AFI this time of year, and with tons of festive fragrances to choose from, it can be hard to find a favorite. Luckily, I have a great recommendation that always winds up on our seasonal bestseller list, our version of Crushed Candy Cane by Bath & Body Works. Now here's a fun and creative way you can use it to make a peppermint bark wax melt. First up, we're going to make the red and white candy cane topping. It might seem easy to just crush up real candy canes, but I recommend going the extra mile and making them with the same wax you'll be using to make the actual melts. So real candy canes, they can scorch when melted over the heat of a wax warmer because they're just made of sugar, which isn't a bad thing. But at best, your melts will still smell unpleasant and burnt when they're used, and at worst, they present a fire hazard, which we don't want. So with that in mind, I'm going to be using AFI's in-house soy wax for these melts. Start by melting the wax you'll need for the candy cane crumbles. I'm using our premium soy container wax 4600. You can use a wax melting pot or a double boiler. When the wax hits 185 degrees, remove it from the heat and let it cool until it drops to 175 degrees. So I measured out 3 ounces of wax in total for the first layer. Once you've got it measured out, add a 6% fragrance load of our version of Crushed Candy Cane by Bath & Body Works. This is a really good go-to scent for the holiday season thanks to its perfect balance of sweet and icy notes. Give that a good stir and then add in 3 drops of red liquid candle dye. Once everything is mixed in, let the wax cool further to 135 degrees. Pour the wax into a thin, even layer in some flat silicone molds like this one or a foil-lined baking tray. So while that's setting up, melt down the wax for the second layer of candy cane. Repeat the previous steps with the other 3 ounces of wax, but this time omit the red dye. Pour the undyed white wax over the red layer when the wax is 10 degrees warmer than your first pour. This helps the layers stick together beautifully. If the red blends into the white wax a little bit, don't worry, we'll be breaking these up in a bit. Once the wax is cool completely, remove the thin bars from the molds or baking tray and then use a knife or fork to break them up into little bits. This will make them look like little crushed candy canes. Don't they look tasty? Set these aside for now and we'll move on to making the wax bark base. Now you'll melt more of the wax to make the actual wax melts. Measure out 6 ounces for the first layer. Add in 3 drops of brown liquid candle dye and a 6% load of the Crushed Candy Cane fragrance oil. If you're using clamshell containers, let the wax cool to around 120 degrees before pouring it in. If you're using silicone molds, you can pour at a slightly higher temperature between 135 to 145 degrees. Once the wax is poured, let it cool until it's solid but still a bit warm to the touch. Finally, measure out the last 6 ounces of wax and repeat the steps we just did, but don't add any dye this time. This will represent the white chocolate layer in our wax peppermint bark. Pour the white wax over the solid brown layer. When the edges of the wax start to turn opaque, it's time for the fun part. Sprinkle a generous handful of the wax peppermint crumbles over the top. This adds a beautiful texture and makes it look just like peppermint bark. For an extra frosted sugar look, go ahead and add a pinch of plastic-free glitter. Let everything cool until completely room temperature before wrapping the project up. If you're using clamshell containers, seal them up by closing the lid. If you're using silicone molds, carefully pop out your wax melts. Finally, let your wax melts cure for at least a week to ensure the best hot throw for your fragrance and so the scent will fill your home beautifully. These are adorable to have around the house during the holiday season, and with a couple of design tweaks and a change of fragrance, you can make tasty looking wax bars just like this for every time of year. I think this concept would be perfect for Valentine's Day as well, so you should try it. Let me know if you'd like to see more projects just like this in future videos, and be sure to leave us a like down below so we can keep making content just like this for you guys. Subscribe to become a member of the Fragrance Fam, and head on over to Fragrance U to enroll in free candle making courses. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video really soon. Bye!